So let's take a look on lists. What are lists? Lists are a logical grouping of any data type that we want. So as in Python, we don't have a strongly typed language. You can pretty much put whatever you want in those lists. So let's put some bananas here in our fruit basket. We also have some kiwi, tomato, and yes, tomato is a fruit. What else? And orange. So that's pretty much our list of fruits, and this list is composed of strings, as we can see here. We can also have our list with numbers, in this case here integers, and will behave pretty much the same way. We just list all the numbers that we have there. We can also have, let's say, a list of flags, and the states are true, false, then true again, and then false. Why not? After we define our list, we can see that every list here has a different data type, but all of them, they are lists. So if we try to, for instance, print it out, what is the type of fruits, and we can compare with the type of price, we'll see that the data type of both of them are list. However, if you go there and try to print it out the elements of that list, you'll see that it's a little bit different. For example, let's say fruits, let's take the first element in our fruit list, and then let's do the same again with the flags. So if we do that with the flag list, where is it? Flags here. And let's take the first element as well, right? So if we printed out the type of each element, we'll see that in the first list we have fruits, and the second one we have an element which is a boolean. This is because we are accessing the element directly from our list. Now, the same way in strings, when we were traversing and using a string as a list of characters, we can pretty much access each element in our list in the same way. So let's say we take the element on the second position of fruits, and then we want to print it out the flags. Here, let's print it out the last element in our list of flags. So if we go there, oops, I had a typo there, so let me just fix that. It's fruits. And if we run that again, we'll see that the first element, as we here have, is a kiwi, and then the very first last element in flags, it's a false, right? So this is pretty neat, so we can access and manipulate our lists in the same way we were playing around with strings, which is super convenient, right? There is another way of doing a list here, and let's say we have the counts, and we can say, hey, let's do a range from 0 to 10, and if we try to do this here, we define that a list of numbers that goes from 0 to 9 included. But if you go there and try to print it out, what is a count, we'll see that the count is the range. So count is a range that goes from 0 to 10 exclusive, so 0 to 9, which is kind of weird, right? So let's take a look on the type that we have for this supposed to be list. And if we go into counts, what is the data type? Well, that's a range data type. That doesn't help very much. So what do you guys think we printed out the elements in that range? In order to do this, we have to cast it as a list. So if we take our count range and then we cast a list on it, we'll be able to see all the elements that we have inside that range. So as you can see here, we transform the counts, which is defined as a range, into this list of numbers that we have right here, right? Another cool thing about lists is so far all the lists that we saw up here, they have a specific data type, right? So this first here, what we have is a string, and then this here is a list of ints, this here is a list of boolean. And the thing is, a list is a list, right? I mean, it sounds kind of obvious, but here when we printed out those, what is the type of that, let's call it this variable here, it's a list, which means that if that's a list, let's say we have a mass. And what is a mass? Well, a mass is a list of a bunch of things. So we have flour, we have some numbers, and then we have a state, another state, another Boolean variable, and then we have another string array here. Why not? Let's say we have eggs. And then if we do this here, our list is still able to be generated. And look at that. If you try to print it out the type of that list, what do you think the type will be? Yeah, that's right, that's a list. Why? Because it doesn't matter about the elements that we have there. This here is still a list, which means that if we take a look on each element inside that list, we'll have a nice surprise. So if we go here from mass 0, and then we go there and have mass 1, mass 2, and we printed out those elements, we'll see that each element here belongs to a data type, which is pretty much what happened before when we printed out the types of the elements, right? But here, the difference that our list, they can be composed of every single element that we can think of it, data type wise, including, now let's create another one. And just for the sake of simplicity, let's include all the data that we had before. But now, let's add a range of 3. And let's see if that goes, right? Apparently that worked. And more than that, let's put another list inside. So you see, you can have anything you want inside a list. And the good thing is, if we go there and let's see the position of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So if we go there, mass 2, and we printed out 5, and we go there, printed out mass 2 and 6. Let's see the elements that we have there. So the fifth element, or sorry, the sixth element here on the position 5 is the range from 0 to 3 exclusive, and then here we have a small list that goes from 1 and 2, and that's it. This is pretty cool because that gives us an option to pretty much put any data type that we want in lists, include other lists, and then later on other data types such as dictionaries, sets, and tuples, a list of classes and objects. We can do pretty much anything we want in this kind of grouping. All right, so thank you and happy coding.